We're on Nickel Hunt and Album Fill, part 16 of this series. This will be boxes 22 and 23. Hopefully, we'll get some more nickels for our album. Hey everybody, it's Rob with RobFindsTreasure, and that's right, we're doing another Nickel Hunt and Album Fill episode, looking to fill those final spots in this album between the next several boxes. We're hoping that these two boxes produce a find or two, and at worst case, some upgrades, maybe a silver, maybe a buffalo nickel. You never know. That's why hunting nickels is so much fun. Now, as a reminder, if you are new to this series and you haven't watched the previous 15 episodes, I will have a link to that playlist both down below and above here so you can get caught up. For those already caught up, you'll remember we did add another nickel in the last video, and now we're sitting on 129 nickels completed out of the 138 spots in this Dansco Jefferson Nickels album. We still need a few more silver nickels, of course a couple of the key dates, and a couple of dates I'm hoping we can wrap up with this two-box hunt, the 46S and the 55P. We should have found those already. We have not. Maybe these are the boxes that will produce them. We've also been silver skunked in the last 4 boxes, so it'd be nice to find some silver, even if it doesn't fill a spot in the album. We have found a couple of buffaloes lately, and I'm always on the lookout for those. Now that we've got you all caught up, it's time to get these boxes hunted. As a reminder, I always check my boxes for circulation before I leave the bank, and this first box is definitely circulated nickels. And because this is the box with the holes in the bottom, I saw through those holes, we had circulated nickels as well. We're going to get right into it, and I will definitely loop you guys in if and when we have any finds. That being said, in case you're wondering, this did look like a war nickel to me. I checked it by pulling the paper aside. It's a 46. Hopefully it's the 46S. Just wanted to preface that so when we run into that nickel, we'll see if it is the one we need. All right. We'll see you shortly, I hope. Roll number 5, and we have our first 40s nickel of the box. It is a 1940 Philadelphia. On the board with an early Jefferson and a couple from the 50s. Well, we've warp speeded already to roll number 12 with that 46 ender. Let's pray it's that 46S. All right, 1946 ender. And I think that says Denver. It does. All right, we didn't get a 46S, but we got another 40s nickel, only the second of the box through almost 12 rolls. Let's find some more. Roll number 14. It's not going to be a find for the album, but we just laid the roll out, and I spy a buffalo nickel. Let's take a look together. And it's already been nickedated once before. And it is a Philadelphia mint. I don't know. Maybe I can get a date off that. I think that's a 1918. I think that's a 1918. Yeah, you can see it right there. 1918 Buffalo Nickel Philadelphia Mint. Nickedated in the box. They did the work for me. Got the date revealed. They didn't do a good job of nickedating it, but we've got a 1918 Philadelphia, and we'll add it to the board, the finds, and find some more, hopefully. Same roll, we have another early Jefferson. This one is a 1941 Denver. Roll 18, and it's an ugly one. Took me a second to figure it out, but it's a 1941 something. We don't need it, but I'll just put it up here as a find. Same rolling towards the back of the roll. A 1939 in toasty condition. We do need a 39S, but typically when you find key date nickels in circulation, they're in a lot better shape than this. Probably a Philly, but let's take a peek. And it is going to be a Philly, but we'll still check it for the... Let me just make sure that wasn't a mint mark. That's just damage. Man, it looked like an S for a second, didn't it? I don't think that's an S. I think that's just damage. You can see that there's some similar damage up there that looks like a mint mark. That's not going to be a mint mark. It just looked suspicious for a second. But either way, 39p. Is there any doubling? And there is not any doubling, so it's not the DDR. Let me just take one more peek at that area. I'm going to go with my gut. I think even though it's making me see an S, it's just damage. Because the more you look, you think you see an S here. You think you see an S here. You think you see an S here. It's got to be just damage. We are not going to call it a 39S. I think it's just a 1939p with some crazy looking damage. Either way, first 39 of the box, second year Jefferson nickel, not the one we needed, but still a good find. Roll number 24, and I've just found one of the nicest 1946s I think I've ever seen, at least on the obverse. Wow, that's a stunner. Can it be any of the 46s? Because it would upgrade them for sure. But if it's a 46S, we've got to find. And it's going to be a 46S. Let's put it under the scope to validate it. And it is. And it's not in that great a shape overall, to be honest. It looks like it's been kept in a manila envelope. And it's got some odd toning and some wear. But either way, overall, it's definitely still a lot nicer than most of the 46s I find. And it's a 46S to boot, which we needed. That will definitely add to the album. I'm putting it up next to the Buffalo. That, my friend, is a nice find. And one of the tough dates is now filled. Let's get back to the hunt and see if the second half of the box produces more finds. Roll number 34, and I've just spotted another 1939. Will there be an S? There is not a mint mark, but let's go ahead and just double check it under the scope. No mint mark. Is there any doubling? And there is no doubling, and I'll take one more peek at that mint mark area. Yeah, just a little damage as normal. Our second 1939 nickel found in the box, both from Philly. Roll number 37 is going to yield a 1947, kind of chewed up, minted in Philly. Roll number 45, and we've got a beaver in front of us. A 1983 Canadian nickel with the beaver on the back. Can't get mad at that. First foreign of the box, and it's a Canadian. Well, box number 22 has been hunted, and we know we'll have one for the album, so we'll fill a spot. We had 11 from the 50s, we had 7 from the 40s, and 2 from the 30s. The Canadian nickel, the Buffalo, and that beautiful 46S that we're going to slot in the album. And for those wondering, I did check it for the DDO. It is not. We also might be doing some upgrades because we had some pretty nice earlier nickels that you can see here. I got 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. And hopefully some of those will upgrade some slots in the album. One box down, one spot filled for sure. Still no silver, although I'm telling you, that 46S, I wonder if it's struck on a silver planchet. It definitely has the silver look to it, but that's for another video. All right, let's go ahead and get box 23 up here and do a live opening next because it is the box with the holes and I haven't opened it yet. I'll be back for a live opening next. All right, live opening of the nickel box. Let's see if we have an ender. We don't get those too often, and it's been quite some time since we've last had one. Will we get one? And I don't see an ender, but the good news is I see a lot of the older Jefferson styles, so should make for a fun hunt. You guys know the drill. We'll bring you in on the first find of box 2 or box 23 of the series. Roll number 3 of the second box of the hunt, and we've got another 1946 in front of us. Will it be an S and get our second for the 2-box hunt? It's going to be a Denver. 1946 Denver. Our fourth from 1946, but that S is all that matters. Roll number 9 of the second box, and we've got a 1942 nickel. It doesn't have the silver look, but maybe it's an upgrader for my 42D and P that I already have in the book that aren't that nice. And it's a 42P, so it's a non-war nickel, and we do have a decent one in there, but I believe this might upgrade it. We'll take that. Could have another upgrader for the album. Roll number 11, and we've got another 1946. Will it be another 46S? Nope, another 46D. Roll number 23, and we've got a 1941 nickel, minted in Philadelphia. Same roll, we have a 1948 Jefferson nickel, and that's an S, and that is a semi-key date Jefferson nickel found in the box. We don't need it for the book, maybe it'll upgrade. Happy to have found it. Roll number 27, and I've just spotted a 1955 nickel here. Believe it or not, it's the first one of the box and a half we've already hunted. If it's minted in Philadelphia, it'll make the day. And it's a Denver. We'll take it, and I'll check for the D over S off camera. Roll number 28. Second to the last coin on the roll is going to be a 1949. 49 Philadelphia. Roll number 36. A 1940 Jefferson nickel, minted in Philly. Roll 39, and yet another 1942 nickel, and it appears non-silver as well. And it is another 42 Philadelphia. Roll number 41, and we've got another 1947 nickel. And is that a 47S? It is a 47S, and it is not a key date or semi-key date, although it's close, and it might be an upgrader. It looks pretty good. We'll take it, add it to the board, and see if we can get silver in these last 9+ rolls. Same roll, and a pretty slick 1948 shows up. 48 Philly. Roll 46, and we've got another 46. Mint mark? There is, but it's Denver yet again. Well, the second box is hunted, and it was not a very good box as far as adding any more finds to the board. It did add some. We had 16 in the 50s overall, 17 in the 40s, 2 in the 30s. The finds of the hunt really are going to be that Buffalo nickel, 1918 Philly, and that 1946S for the album. We got a lot of nice nickels here from the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s to see if we can upgrade in the book. And we even found that Canadian as well as whatever that is. Let me go ahead now and update the album. I'll do all the modern ones first, then we'll move on to the older ones and see what we come up with. I'll be back with a look at the upgrades. So for the modern upgrades, we're only going to be able to upgrade the 1995D, definitely better. The 1985D, definitely better. The 1973D, slightly better. And the 71D, slightly better as well. Only 4 upgrades in the more modern stuff, and I'm going to be rolling up these nicer 60s nickels over here that did not upgrade because we got some beauties in here. 4 upgrades, I'll plug those in, and I'll bring you back for the upgrades and the additions on the older ones. All right, for the older upgrades, we are going to be upgrading that 48S. We're going to be upgrading that 47S, albeit slightly. It does have more hair detail. We'll be upgrading the 42P. You can clearly see it's a better nickel. So 3 more upgrades make 7. And of course, the 1946S we get to add. Once again, 7 upgrades and 1 addition. The nickel album is getting better and better. And as soon as I plug those in, it'll even be better. Let me plug them in. I'll give you a final look and a wrap up. All right, 130 slots filled now out of 138, and we are on a 6-box drought for silver war nickels. That's going to make it tough to fill those spots up if we can't find them. 4 of the 8 spots are war nickels, 3 of the 8 spots are key dates, and 1 is a semi-key date 1955. We hoped we'd get it in this set of boxes. We didn't, but we did plug in that 46S that we thought we'd get as well. At the end of the day, we ended up finding two semi-key date nickels, a 48S and a 49S, that Buffalo 1918, and that 46S for the album. Nothing else really fantastic other than some nicer nickels, which I will be adding to my rolls because they are nice enough for me to keep. Hopefully you enjoyed this nickel hunt and album fill episode 16, where we've now hunted 23 boxes and got 130 of the 138 spots filled. If you did, I'd appreciate a thumbs up. And as always, everyone, happy hunting and thanks for watching.